All right, and now let me go across to Nikhil first up. And Nikhil, what an entertaining spell from Dale Steyn. You have to admit that for Indian fans, it wasn't great watching it, but for a neutral and for a test romantic, it was phenomenal.
Well, without doubt, you don't want one-sided competition. And Dale Steyn, we all know, is probably one of the world's best premier fast bowlers, and he was always due, like a batsman is due in his next innings to come back into form. And Dale Steyn, with one inspired spell, he can look very threatening and bring back South Africa right back into the game, and that's exactly what he's done. But terrific bowling stuff. As at that moment in time, India looked that they'd probably only look to bat once, and they backed big. But a couple of those deliveries, reverse swinging, he set up the batsman nicely. But honestly, I would have liked to see Murali Vijay go out there and get 100, because he's really worked hard and he looked good in most part of the innings that he's played.
And this match is brilliantly set up now, Nikhil, you have to admit.
Well, without a doubt, but if Team India lose another couple of wickets, South Africa get back, they bat pretty well. Who goes to say, that Team India coming back in the second innings, how the wicket plays, maybe, it starts reverse swinging a little more. One wicket brings another. And we've seen that sort of trend that in the Test series so far. One wicket brings a couple more in these clusters. And you don't want that to happen for Team India. But, with this young youth brigade of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, at this moment in time, before the start of the Test series, we all thought, we would probably lose the Test series 2-0. But they've certainly, put up a fight. And they very nearly won that first Test match. So outstanding cricket being played by Team India at this moment in time.
Well, they certainly are playing some outstanding cricket. Let's go across to Dada. Another man who was outstanding today, Dada, was Dale Steyn. What a spell.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were speaking yesterday that he was not in the best of form. He wasn't at his best while bowling, and it was great to see him bowl. The key for Dale Steyn is not just banging it short and bowling all over the place. He went back to his basics today, hit the right areas, because whoever you may be, whatever quality you may have as a bowler, but you still have to hit the ball in the right areas. It's like a batsman. However good you are, you still have to get on the front foot and the back foot according to the length of the delivery. And you could see Dale Steyn going back to his old trend, swinging it away from the stumps, and that's the reason he's got wickets.
And the strategy of bowling it short to the Indian batsmen, aiming at their bodies, more or less seems to be working for South Africa, because it got rid of Murali Vijay and it got rid of Virat Kohli as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think Virat Kohli was a bit unlucky to get out. I don't think it was a short delivery. It was a delivery which had to be hit down the onside, and he just flicked it. He's got out a few times like that, and it happens in cricket. But he was looking very good once again. But I thought it was a much better bowling effort from South Africa in this innings on day 2. As Nikhil was saying, we have seen the trend of wickets falling in clusters. India again has gone through they were 181 for 1, and now they're 254 for 5. So they've lost 4 wickets for 60 or 70 runs, and the ball is still newish. So I think South Africa has come back well in this Test match.
Right, Dada, and then, there was this period when Dale Steyn was really troubling the Indian batsmen, when he picked up those 3 wickets and in a cluster, as Nikhil and you were talking about. But then he was taken off the attack. The new ball was due in 8 overs, I understand. But Robin Peterson came on, and that allowed Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane at both ends to sort of settle down. I know it's good for Indian fans that Graham Smith did that, but maybe a bit of a mistake from the South African captain.
See, I said at the start of the Test match, if South Africa doesn't have a good spinner, you don't need to play one, because if you're using Robin Peterson as a bowler who would stop the runs and keep the batsmen in check, I think he's not good enough to do it against Indian batsmen, or even unless you are a high quality spinner like a Vaughan or a Murali or a Saeed Ajmal, it's very difficult to restrict Indian batsmen on pitches which doesn't help spinners. So as I said at the start of the Test match, South Africa should have gone with the all-pace attack, because even if they used their 4 fast bowlers to pick wickets and they used their 5th seamer to actually tie down the runs, Seamer will always do a better job than the spinners on good batting conditions like South Africa or England or Australia. And I think the South Africans have made a mistake there, whether it's Imran Tahir or whether it's Robin Peterson. They cannot put pressure on Indian batsmen. We saw Murli Vijay yesterday when he took on Robin Peterson. He just kept bowling full tosses. He kept bowling over pitch deliveries, and every time Murli Vijay would step out, he would get it into the arc, which shows that Robin Peterson doesn't have much control in the last minute to his deliveries, and that's the reason he's not successful in Test cricket. So for any overseas teams, when India go to their backyard, whether it's Australia, England or South Africa, unless and until you have a Graham Swan, unless and until you have a Monty Panessa, I don't think it's the right decision to play a spinner against the Indians.
Alright, and then there's another interesting battle that's going on between Ajinkya Rahane and Dale Steyn. So what I'll do is I'll bring Boria in now into the discussion, and what's happening between Ajinkya Rahane and Dale Steyn is riveting stuff, Boria.
Absolutely, and I keep saying this, you've got to be prepared to take a few in the body. I don't have a problem with that. I'm actually liking the fact that Ajinkya Rahane did not sort of even, look at Dale Steyn with an eye that he was in awe. He was not. He was standing his ground. He was looking Dale Steyn eye to eye. Dale Steyn actually showed him two, as if I've hit you twice. Fair enough, you hit me 20 times, I'll still stand my ground. That's what Test match cricket is all about. It's a man's game. It's a man's game, and you've got to be a man. You're calling it the biggest test, for God's sake. So, Ajinkya Rahane, it's actually a good innings. 22 runs, but the fact is he's weathered the new ball, at least the first 10-15 overs of the new ball. He's got Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and that brings me to Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Will we see something from the captain? You've got 90 runs in the first session at the loss of 4 wickets. Will we see the captain play some decent shots and score some runs in overseas conditions? Because you've still got this match in your grasp. 270 for 5 is not a bad score. Can the captain deliver, or will he throw it away? Perhaps the match will depend on that.
That's a fair question that you raise, Boria, but for the moment I'll stick to Rahane because I want to get Dada in here. Dada, what was your usual response when you find yourself in a situation like that where the fast bowler is actually trying to intimidate you and then sledges you as well?
Well, all of us go through that situation in Test cricket, especially when we go to Australia, South Africa and England. We will get hit. Everybody has got hit. So there's no harm in getting hit, and it doesn't matter if Ajinkya Rahane has got hit. He just got to make sure that he changes his helmet and gets a new one, because when the helmet gets a battering with the new ball, it just confuses up the system of the helmet. So he gets a new helmet on and just focuses for the new ball. What was very good to see was that the next time the delivery was pitched up, he was right forward. So I don't think there is an issue of getting hit. Tendulkar, Lara, you name it, have got hit on the nut many a times because a good fast bowler will hit you. It's about the next ball and making sure not getting out.
That's a fair point, Dada, and the good thing that we saw from Rahane was that he wasn't even reaching, and that sort of a psychological message is what you'd want your batsman to send out to the bowler.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He just took his helmet off and got his composure back, because as I said, there's no shame in getting hit. The best players in the world have got hit, and Ajinkya Rahane, I can bet you if he plays for the next 10 years for India, he will get hit once every year. That's going to happen to batsmen all around the world, but he's got to make sure that if he plays for next 10 years, he should not get out in the next 10 years with a short ball. And I think that's a problem which he's going to solve, and he will solve it. He's a gutsy cricketer, he's got good ability, he's got good technique, and I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Individual one-on-one battles. I know it's a team game, but when these battles take place, the one-on-ones that's happening between Steyn and Rahane, this is what Test cricket is about, the subplots.
Without a doubt. And, somehow each time we've been on overseas tours, we've seen some of this short pitch stuff come towards you. There are lots of cricketers, lots of batsmen that have been identified. They can't play the short pitch stuff. But the good thing is, we're talking about Ajinkya Rahane. When he got hit on the head, he took out the helmet and he had a smile on his face in terms of, it hasn't really bothered me. It hasn't broken my concentration. Tadi spoke about as soon as the next ball was delivered, if it was pitched up, his feet were moving. So he's not only expecting the short pitch stuff.
True.
So to me, I see great potential in Ajinkya Rahane going forward, and I just hope, fingers crossed, he can convert this start into a big one.
Yeah, that's what everyone's hoping. And Dada, what's the score now that India should be looking at?
Well, India will just have to bat, not look at any score. As Boria said, the new ball will be important. Mahendra Singh Dhoni will have to stand up and get some runs, because once again he comes out to bat when the second new ball is on, and that has happened to him many a times in his career, that in overseas conditions he's come out to bat when the second new ball is on. So he will have to bite that period. He will have to speak to himself and say that, listen, I'm good enough to get runs at test level overseas, and just go out and play. Because this partnership will be key. Ravindra Jadeja comes in next. He hasn't had much of a hit in South Africa, and if India lose a wicket early after tea, then India could be up for trouble. So this partnership is very crucial. India should not worry about the run rate. India should not worry about time, because there's enough time left in this test match. I don't know what's going to happen next day 3, day 4, day 5. If there is enough rain, then obviously this test match will finish into a draw. But India doesn't need to look so far. India needs to look at the session after tea, 2 hours. There could be an extension for about an hour at the end of the day's play, provided there's no rain. So try and bat well this session. This session will be very, very important, because this is a flat batting surface. South Africa bat deep, so they will also look to post a big total. So India should try and get as much runs as possible.
And let's go across to Rasesh Mandani, who joins us from Durban. Lucky man, Rasesh. But now the onus is on the skipper. And as Dada was talking about, what's the weather update? Just slip that in as well.
One thing that we noticed of batting here in Durban is that it becomes very different to bat with overcast skies and a bit of moisture around, and with the baking sun. And I think that's something that we've seen through the course of this series as well. So in that sense, that's another additional reason for India, while the conditions are here good to bat at this point in time, to try and bat this session out. If Dhoni, Rahane and Ravindra Jadeja can put up enough runs and enough resistance, who knows, there might be overcast conditions tomorrow. You get the advantage of using the new ball with overcast skies and a bit of moisture in the air. Those would be the ideal conditions, or at least bat as far as possible into the session today. That's going to be the key. Ravindra Jadeja has been apparently picked up over Pragyan Ahuja because he can also bat. It's an opportunity for him to stand up and be counted, and an opportunity for someone like Dhoni, as Dada was saying, to stand up and be counted. So there's a lot to gain for India, for the lower middle order to put up a strong resistance in this game.
Well, there certainly is, and there's so much more to talk about as well. We'll be doing that where either they can actually push South Africa onto the back foot, or actually surrender the initiative that their batsmen have given them. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni is at the crease. Dada and Boria both have talked about how it's time for Dhoni to deliver. But Dada, what should Dhoni's strategy be? Because he's an attacking batsman. He can play all the shots, we know. But here is a situation. What does he do? Because should he attack, or should he actually look to defend and take those singles?
Yeah, he should look to be positive, to be honest, and to help him, the South African captain has put Robin Peterson on. So I think that can work in Mahendra Singh Dhoni's favour. I don't understand the reason of putting Robin Peterson on straight away after tea. I know Mahendra Singh Dhoni is not the best player against left arm spin, but I don't think Robin Peterson is in that sort of a form to trouble Mahendra Singh Dhoni early on. Hopefully that could be a change of end, but Dhoni has to stay positive. Positive does not mean swinging, but obviously if there's a ball to be hit, he should hit, and not look to be too defensive. Though he's got to be careful of the ball which is pitched up, because if you look at his career, he tends to hang on the back foot, and he's very good at the short ball, whether it's on the offside or the onside. It's the ball which is pitched up to him creates problem. So I think he should be very, very careful to the one which is pitched up. But he's a positive player, he's an attacking player, so he shouldn't change his instincts.
And a very crucial session, Nikhil.
Well, without a doubt. Well, Team India has got to be batting with the mindset that they're only going to be batting once. And if they don't lose any wicket in this session, you win this session as well. I think Team India is going to be in an extremely healthy position. And I don't think you're going to be looking back from there.
Oh, that's what everyone's hoping, Nikhil. I'll bring Boria in now. And Boria, yes, we know that this is as subcontinental conditions as you'll get in South Africa, and that's why it's important, given the kind of rain disruptions that could come into play later on, as Rasesh was talking about. It's important that, as Nikhil was saying, India bat once and India bat big.
Firstly, it's not subcontinental conditions. If it was subcontinental conditions, the Murli Vijay delivery would not have been bowled. Point number one. Point number 2, I've said this 150 times. Mahendra Singh Dhoni in overseas conditions will have to stand up and deliver. This partnership can win you the match. This partnership can save the match. This partnership can save the series from being lost. If the captain plays an innings which are of 50-60 runs, and with Ajinkya Rahane at the other end, you are talking 375-400. If that happens, India doesn't lose. This is where you count. You become from good to better, from better to best. Can you do that? We know Dhoni has the bluster, has the potential, but overseas we've seen him throw it away. This is the time for Mahendra Singh Dhoni to push himself and this Indian team up to that pedestal that Saurav had done in Australia. I really hope he does, because we know what's coming up for India in the next 12 months. This is our chance. Capitalize. Fingers crossed for Mahendra Singh Dhoni that he delivers.
So as Boria puts it, this is Mahendra Singh Dhoni's biggest test. Now, smart name of the show. I wonder who thought about it. All right, I can stand the applause, but I'll take that later. For the moment, we'll have to say bye-bye here on Sports Quarter. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot, Nikhil. Thanks a lot, Saurav. Thanks a lot, Boria as well.